Alright, so there's a couple Cadillacs, a Corvette, a Jaguar, and a Polaris Slingshot behind me, but what do all these cars have in common? Well, Bosch has flown us out here to Flat Rock, Michigan to their testing center to show off a bunch of the new technologies that'll be coming to your cars very soon. So coming up next is a top 5 list of the technologies that Bosch is working on to make your car safer and more fun. Number 5 is a technology called Perfectly Keyless. It uses an app on your smartphone connected to special software in the vehicle to lock, unlock, and start the car remotely through the phone's Bluetooth connection. You can even send a key to your friends' phones if you want to give them access to your car while you're away. While Perfectly Keyless can be used for personal vehicles, Bosch also notes its commercial applications, particularly with rental cars and car sharing services.
We basically link your phone to the vehicle, and as you can see, it shows the status of unlocked. As I walk away, it locks the vehicle. It also does the normal starting functionality as well. Additionally, the nice feature that Perfectly Keyless offers is the ability to car share. I can virtually, through the cell phone, securely pass my key to my friend, and I can determine how long I want to actually give that key. So today I'm going to give my friend here a day.
Nice. I get a whole day with a Mustang. That's awesome. If I walk away, it is locked, and then eventually it unlocks. Look at that. So then I can get in and start it up now?
You can get in there and start it up now. So what else is nice is we actually did have the capability of digital fingerprinting the cell phone to the vehicle. Okay. Which means if somebody tried to actually spoof your cell phone, they can't, because each Bluetooth device has its unique fingerprint.
And when can consumers expect to see this technology actually hitting the market?
So anywhere between 2020 to 2022.
Next we have this Jaguar F-Pace, which features electric emergency braking, but for cyclists. Number 4 is an automatic emergency braking system that can detect cyclists. Now, many cars already have automatic emergency braking. However, while emergency braking systems can easily identify cars, they tend to have issues with smaller obstacles like cyclists and pedestrians. Bosch explained that this is due to the narrow field of vision that most AEB systems use. Bosch has extended the angle of vision to roughly 45 degrees in front of the vehicle, greatly expanding the range in which the system looks out for hazards. I rode along in a Jaguar F-Pace fitted with Bosch's braking system. Bosch took the car up to around 20 miles per hour and placed a dummy cyclist, named Lance, in the car's path. The F-Pace managed to stop itself just before it smashed into the cyclist.
Oh, it says cyclist.
It says cyclist.
Ah, look at that. That is way cool.
The system works up to 60 kph.
Okay.
After that, it's only mitigation just because of the physics and trying to slow the vehicle down that quickly. Because of our limited run-up space, we're going to go about 25 kph today, so roughly 16 miles per hour.
Cool. Oh no, Lance! Lance is saved! Look at that!
He rides along.
Wow. Not hitting Lance round 2. Oh, there goes Lance. Safe once again. Wow, that was close. That's amazing how quickly it responds. That's really impressive.
Number 3 is rear wheel steering. It's been around since the 1980s, but back then it was used mostly to make sports cars more agile. Now, Bosch is developing this technology in the name of both performance and safety. On the safety front, Bosch uses rear wheel steering as a precautionary form of electronic stability control. If the computer detects a dangerous amount of yaw or rotation, it can preemptively turn the rear wheels to catch and control the spin before it happens. Bosch also uses rear wheel steering to help with low-speed maneuverability. The rear wheels turn in the opposite direction to the front wheels at speeds under 25 miles per hour to help turn more tightly. On the highway, the rear wheels turn in the same direction as the front wheels to make the car more stable when changing lanes. Okay, so pretty normal.
Pretty normal. Feels kind of like a large car. Big
big difference, right?
Big difference
Yeah,
indeed.
Feels like a shorter car.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow.
And looking here, it may be a degree and a half.
Yeah, that's amazing the difference you can tell between, especially sport mode and like the snow ice mode.
Yes.
You can really feel the back end is, you know, a lot more agile maybe in snow ice, but then it feels a lot more put together perhaps in sport mode.
You don't feel like some system's working for you. It's
Right,
just,
right.
just
Yeah, it
like-
feels very natural.
At number 2 is infotainment technology. Infotainment has become a crucial piece of the driving experience. We use our infotainment systems on a daily basis, and badly designed infotainment systems can make or break a car for many people. So, Bosch is developing a series of next-generation cockpits to make our lives easier on the road. For starters, Bosch is integrating facial and voice recognition technology to allow drivers to easily create user-specific profiles in your vehicle. Much like many cars have memory seat settings or key-specific settings, you can now preset a number of features in your car to be activated by either your face, your voice, or both. Bosch says this technology can be programmed for any settings in the car. Another feature Bosch is developing is a series of microphones designed to project your voice to the back seat, and vice versa.
If he talks to you from the back, you probably hear pretty well.
Andre?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Andre.
Obviously, he could hear you pretty well,
Yeah.
going from back to front, but he's hearing a very similar experience from front to back. So
Really?
I don't have to like sit and turn around and yell at you just to be able to talk to you from the front seat to the back. So you should be able to hear me relatively clearly all the way back there.
I do, and can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can. And this is kind of acoustically happening through the whole car. We have microphones in the front, we have microphones in the rear, and this being a third row vehicle, we could even support it all the way in the back third row. So you can very easily talk to passengers front, back to forward. You not have to sit and turn around, take your eyes off the road, and yell at people in the car. So
Very cool.
hopefully, it's an interesting experience. And then
yeah.
you should be able to notice it differently if I turn off the mic. It should sound a little bit different versus I'm turning on the mic.
This, plus many of the other features in the next-gen cockpit, are designed to reduce the amount of time your eyes are looking away from the road, with the ultimate goal to improve safety. One such technology is their haptic feedback display. Haptic feedback is a term typically associated with phones. It just means that you press a screen and feel vibration to confirm that you pressed something. Bosch's display allows you to run your finger over the surface of the screen to feel for a button that doesn't really exist before you press it. This greatly reduces the annoyances that come with the useless combination of driving and searching for a particular part of a screen. The final piece of this tech is the machine learning that Bosch is employing to help your car become even more connected to you. Machine learning is something that many people try to get artificial intelligence to do. Essentially, it means that a computer is recording the context of every interaction, storing that data, and accessing it later to try and predict what it is you do in a given scenario. Bosch's system takes into account the day of the week, the weather, the location, and the type of every interaction with the infotainment, and remembers what you did.
I have this facial recognition camera, and basically I'm already enrolled in the system.
Yeah.
So here, the system should recognize me when I get into my car, that it's me, and then it can personalize things around me.
Please look at the camera. Welcome to
But,
the car.
hey, it's still picking me up with the steering wheel even there, so that's actually pretty good. And now we know that I'm in the car, so we can personalize the car around me, whether it's settings or other things. The car knows it's me, and it knows that I'm sitting in this seat.
Could it do something like adjust the seat and the steering wheel
Adjust
position?
the seat, adjust the HVAC, and adjust just other parameters because it knows it's me.
The number one technology that Bosch is developing is a performance traction management system utilized by Chevy in the Corvette Z06. The Z06 makes 650 horsepower out of a 6.2-liter supercharged V8, sending all of its power to the rear wheels. The Z06 can reach 60 miles per hour in just 3 seconds, but I bet you didn't know that it was Bosch's traction management software that let the Corvette Z06 do this. It does more than just launch control. PTM also aids in full ABS stops and stability control for cornering, though there is still an option to turn off all the aids if you feel like roasting tires.
So we're here in the manual transmission for launch control. In this setting, it's already set up for it. It knows that it's ready to accept it. So it's clutch in, first gear, on throttle. It's going to set that RPM limit. We'll hold that, and it's just a drop clutch. but
no kidding.
As I guess the driver and done a lot, it starts to get reasonably uneventful. On the steering there, all pretty uneventful, nice and quick.
Yeah, that was good. That works.
So the other part that we like to show is easy. We show the controls we do work on while we're doing it. But the other part we like to show is that we're still letting the driver drive the car.
Yeah.
So we're still in the same mode. We can go through a slalom pretty aggressively. We really let the car do itself. We're not coming in with any heavy controls and trying to do anything.
So what we're showing here today, Michael, is the setup necessary to do a static calibration of the front-facing camera for lane departure warning and lane keep assist. Is whenever there is a service procedure that's done in order to change, if you change the windshield out, change the camera bracket, if you change the controller on the car, if you change the ride height, anytime you're changing the pitch, the roll, and the yaw of the vehicle or its distance relative to the camera, you have to change that, you have to recalibrate. And then what we have are targets, and the targets are different for every OEM. In this case, they have one target, and it's very, very small, right? But you have to put it in 3 locations along the way. And in addition, what's required is a tool. So this tool right here will describe to the technician what the setup needs to be for every year, make, and model. So what's needed is a known distance for the calibration, a known height, and a known width for these targets. Kind of like a paint job. You have to do all the work and initially set up. And once it's all set up, you just connect this through the OBD2 port, put the vehicle into learn mode, into the calibration mode, and then it's a 30-second activity after a 15 to 20 minute setup. But this tool is also used in a dynamic calibration. So some of the car companies actually go out on the road and do a test drive and encounter the dashed lines, the solid lines, and posts at a certain interval.